The LMC casts a wide net over the Sound Shore to bring you local event info, profiles, and conversations. Recorded in the heart of the village in Mamaroneck Cinemas at the studio on the Avenue, LMC Media brings you the LMC Cast Community Profiles.
Hello and welcome to LMC Cast. I am your host, Gladys Dibble, and I am here today with Ed Metzendorf, the founder and owner of Next Level Day Camp. Let's welcome Ed. Hey, welcome to LMC Cast, Ed.
Great, thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
Very excited to be here.
Nice. Is this your first time in the studio?
Absolutely.
Isn't it great?
It's amazing. So I was blown away when I walked in.
I know, it's beautiful, and it's so homey, right?
Very homey, very homey.
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I would love for the community to hear more about Next Level Day Camp.
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, I'm all for it. And this is the time when we are all asking each other, like, oh, where are we going to put our kids? Registration is probably opening soon for most camps, so this is right on time. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine with the weather outside that camp's only about 4 or 5 months away. But it's coming, yeah. I mean, we opened registration back in the summer because we have a lot of families that registered during the camp season for next season. But the heart of it is definitely coming up now.
Okay, well, that's good. We'll get into that so we can let everyone know.
Awesome.
So, Ed, tell me a little bit about yourself. Were you born and raised in Westchester?
I was not. I was actually born and raised in Manhattan. We moved up here about 18 years ago. I have 2 daughters, both in college. So we moved to Larchmont about 18 years ago, and we've been here since. It's an amazing community. We love it. We're so happy. I call it the country because I'm from the city. I never actually lived in a house before I moved up here. So for me, this was like, really different. My wife's from Connecticut, so she was more used to this lifestyle. But living in Larchmont with young kids and being able to walk to town and to the Chatsworth School was an amazing experience. We moved to Mamaroneck in the Orienta section about 4 or 5 years ago, which we also love.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome to Mamaroneck.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you here. And I also have a similar background. New York City, I was totally blown away when I came here. And I do call it the country as well because it's so different.
Yeah.
It's just so different than the city. So before opening up Next Level Day Camp, what did you do?
Yeah, sure. Well, the biggest thing I did for 15 years was I was involved with a few people who I knew growing up a little bit in a summer camp software business, a company called bunk1.com. We created and developed a variety of different software for summer camps. And remember, this was 2000. People were still on dial-up. The technology wasn't what it is today. So we were sort of the first people to create communication between parents and kids at camp, and then online registration, making it easy for parents to register for camp, fill out forms, all that kind of stuff. I did that for 15 years. It was an amazing experience, but at that point I was commuting to the city and I wanted to do something a little bit different. I had sort of fallen in love with the camp business. I'd always coached my kids up here in different rec sports and travel sports. I had played sports at a college level as well, so I sort of had that drive, and I had the opportunity in 2015 to open Next Level Camp for Girls at the Ursuline School, which is an all-girls school in New Rochelle, and that was my sort of pilot summer, my first summer. I'm excited to say this is our 10-year anniversary of Next Level, so I wore my 10-year hat, if you can see it on camera, and my 10-year anniversary sweatshirt in the back. Maybe I'll show it off later, but it's very exciting. I mean, to do something like this for 10 years and have it grow and have so many former campers I run into town and staff members, it's really incredible. In fact, even this morning, there were 3 former campers and staff members who now play for the Mamaroneck High School basketball team, who were all featured in a little Instagram pop-up about their performance. Big win over Scarsdale last night, I guess. So,
ooh, congrats.
Congrats to the Go Tigers. But it's nice to see some of the kids who have come to my camp and obviously developed in some way at camp, either as a counselor or mainly as a camper, go on and succeed on and off the field. I mean, I don't want to take that much credit for it because it was only a part of their summer, and for some it was only one summer. But it is nice to see how doing something like this for 10 years and watching these kids grow and develop and mature and succeed in and out of the classroom or in different community events.
Right.
It's really awesome.
Well, it probably makes what you do that much better, right?
Of course, it makes it rewarding. Yeah, of course.
Very
what we're trying to do is show these kids a great time while they're at camp, and help them learn and develop confidence and that kind of stuff. And that was the impetus, I guess, for the girls' camp originally. I mean, that's sort of a unique thing, especially 10 years ago. I mean, to my knowledge, we're really the only all-girls day camp in the area. And to run that and to not only do sports and arts and dance and yoga and STEM and all the DJ and all the things that we do, but also have the girls develop their confidence and self-esteem and know that they can do anything, just like the boys, is really, really rewarding. So it's been great, and I've been lucky to have a couple local directors who are teachers in the community that have helped me develop the program, and as I said, lots of great staff. I mean, listen, any of these businesses, I can come up with ideas and different things, but it's the staff that work hard during the summer, and it is hard being a camp counselor. It's not perfect. It can be hot. It can be rainy. The kids can be difficult, although my kids are never difficult, of course. But, it's hard work, and, these high school, college kids and teachers come and give their time and energy every day, and my business wouldn't be the same without them. So I always try to thank them as much as possible.
Oh, I love that you did that, and congratulations on your 10-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Very, very happy for you.
Yeah. So just to finish the story, I guess, a year later, I opened Next Level Camp for Boys, which I now run at Iona Prep, which is very similar business model, but a boys program. And a couple years later, not relevant necessarily for this area, but I run a similar model in Bergen County, New Jersey, a similar type community in Saddle River, New Jersey, which is a nice community. So we have 3 day camps, and we have an overnight residential sports academy in Connecticut as well.
Nice.
So we're pretty busy.
Nice. So how did the concept of having an all-girl camp, how did you come up with that?
Again, I had 2 daughters of my own.
Okay.
Again, it's a little different now with women's sports, and things have changed a lot, I think, in the last 10 years, especially the last couple of years with Caitlin Clark and some of the different things that have gone on with women's sports. But obviously Ursuline was an all-girls school. At that point, quite honestly, they just built this beautiful field, turf field, which seemed to be unoccupied during the summer. Through a couple of connections and friends, I was able to connect with the president of the school and come up with the idea. And I just thought it was unique and different, and I thought it had some legs after, sort of talking to some families in the community and seeing what was going on, that it would be a really different place for girls to come and really be girls and not have to worry about the boys and either playing sports with them or doing different things with them, and they could really be free. And again, a big part, and it still is now, but especially in the beginning, was working with the girls in terms of their self-confidence and leadership and that kind of stuff. I mean, I remember either the first or second summer doing a program for all the girls where at that point there was a Dove commercial where it was like, be strong like a girl or play like a girl. And we had all the girls at camp break up into little groups and do these commercials and perform them for the camp. And then we had the counselors who at that point were like, a lot of them were like college athletes and college kids who were saying like when they were younger, they always had to play with the boys and how intimidating it was. So that will always stick out as a rewarding moment for me at camp. It was either in year 1 or year 2, I can't remember, but that was sort of the aha special moment there, I think, when we knew we were really doing something special.
I love that. I went to an all-Catholic high school, an all-girl Catholic high school, and exactly what you said, that's how I felt. I didn't have to worry about the boys. And I knew girls from other schools that were mingled in with boys, and they were just going through these relationship problems that I did not need to deal with. So I think that what you're doing is great. I love that concept.
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of drama. Don't kid ourselves.
Of course, but you know what? Yes. Girls can be girls.
Exactly, and that listen.
And I love that.
For 5 days or 25 days during the course of summer, whatever they come to camp, yes, they can be girls. They can have fun and not worry about that stuff.
Right. I like that, and vice versa.
And the counselors too. I mean, they're not distracted with all that stuff that they would be at high school with the other staff. They really have time to spend time with the girls, and I think vice versa at the boys' camp too.
Right. So, how do you get these kids to the next level?
Well, it's very now. I mean, I think it's really the staff. I mean, again, so my camp is a little different than traditional camps. What I've done is created what I call a skill-based elective program. So a big part of what we do is we really encourage the girls and the boys and to try things outside their comfort zone. Like we do something called Try It Tuesday, where on Tuesday we ask the kids, boys or girls at their camp, to try something outside their comfort zone. If they're an artsy kid, go try a field hockey. If they're a sporty kid, go try a theater class, whatever it might be. But because we're the skill-based elective camp, what happens at camp every day is they literally come in and pick and choose their schedule on a daily basis. So they're not in an age group per se where all the 9-year-olds are going to soccer and then going to art and then going to baseball or whatever it might be. Some 9-year-olds might be going to soccer, others might be going to art. I mean, they do things typically with kids their own age, obviously,
Right.
and skill level when it comes to the sports, but they are choosing their own schedule. And what we found is it's really amazing by giving them that independence, and we think offering some unique things like a DJ, like a fencing, like some STEM projects, some theater, we do chess programs and cooking and lots of different things that the kids really want to try things outside their comfort zone, and they're open to it. And they meet a friend. They meet Gladys at first period at soccer, and they thought they were going to go to art, but Gladys says, let's go try making slime and STEM. And Jenny goes with her, or vice versa. And so that's why we really actually, when we started, we had them pick their whole schedule for their whole day. And honestly, we spent the whole summer switching their schedule. So now they choose first period, they come back in, they choose second period, so on and so on. And it really does work. And I think it allows a lot of kids to really try lots of new things and be open-minded to things. And that's
Right.
what we're trying to do. Our soccer, our basketball, our art is all great, but the reality is in a community like this, these kids can do that all year round. But when the kids do a DJ class or a backgammon class or play cricket for the first time or something like that, that's what they remember. And I think it's very important that's what they do.
That's great. I love that they have the choice.
Yeah,
Right,
freedom of
'cause
choice.
I love that. I think sometimes kids gravitate to that more than just being told what to do.
Right. And what's also nice is, again, I think the kids become more independent because if you and I are at camp together and, we say, you really want to go to soccer and I really want to go to art, we say, great, Glass, I'll see you in an hour because we're going to come back in, we're going to have our snack and I'll see you in an hour. And they're willing to do it because they know it's not for the whole day or anything like that. So again, it's sort of organically worked that way, and it's really worked out to make it a successful program, I believe.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you mentioned lunch. Does your camp provide lunch, or do the kids bring in their own lunch and snack?
Well, we provide the snacks at all my
Okay.
camps. Lunch, we actually work with a local vendor here called Lunch with Lou, who's literally around the corner from the studio, ironically,
nice.
where they can order lunch online or the families can send lunch in to camp with their campers. So we leave it up to the families in terms of that.
That's
But we
good.
provide all the snacks.
Okay. And as a parent, I'm just going through some of the things that I thought
Sure.
I would want to know, right?
Right. Of
Before
course.
when I'm looking into a camp.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, I would love to offer lunch, but through the cafeteria at the schools, they're not really open during the summer, so that's why we've created this system.
Right. And it works.
It works perfectly
Works.
for
There you
what
go.
we do.
There you go.
The kids get what they want.
Exactly. Again,
Yeah.
their choice.
Their choice, exactly.
So what about swimming? Do you offer swimming? And if so, is it recreational or instructional?
We do not offer swimming because
Okay.
at none of my facilities I have a pool.
Okay.
We have an amazing water slide. We do lots of water games and that kind of stuff. But we like anything else, there's lots of great camps in the West Chester community that obviously do have swimming, and some do recreation, some do swim instruction, probably some do a little bit of a combination of both. But our facilities just don't have a pool. We're all air conditioned. We have indoor facilities, which makes a huge difference when it's very hot or rainy. So
Right.
unlike camps where they don't have a lot of indoor facilities, they have pools. Like anything else, there's pluses and minuses.
Correct.
And there are lots of great camps out there. It's just sort of a choice for a family, what works best for them and their camper.
Correct. Once again, what's best for their
Exactly.
children, right?
Exactly.
Well, a lot of these questions that I had for you, I already asked, or it's come up naturally.
There you go.
Oh, this is a good one. Do you offer extended days before and after camp?
We don't have a traditional extended day program for our specific camps, but we've had families in the past that have needed it, and typically what we do is we coordinate with a counselor to come early and play board games or something with the families and or after camp. So on the occasion where we've needed it, we've been able to accommodate people. Some
that's
camps
great.
have very formal programs. We do not.
That's great. No, that's fine. Okay. What about your staff? What type of training do they receive when it comes to safety,
Sure.
problem solving.
Of course, all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. So, staff process for me, which I think is pretty typical of camps in the area, and I hope so. First of all the camps have to go through certain regulations with the Board of Health of Westchester. We all have to file papers, and we all get inspected during the summer and all that kind of stuff. So the Westchester Board of Health does a good job in terms of that and getting us up to speed of what we need. In terms of my process, every staff is interviewed, sometimes in person, a lot of times nowadays in Zoom. We go through an interview, again, depending on the level of the student. If they're in high school or college compared to a teacher, they're going to have a different job potentially at camp and obviously have different levels of responsibility. But staff interview is pretty typical. We do reference checks. Again, students usually send us teachers or families they've babysat for, that kind of stuff. And we do a email form that the families fill out, and then we follow up with a phone call to verify it. Everybody has to do a background check.
Awesome.
Again, per the board of regulations. And then in terms of training, we do a lot of Zoom calls up before camp to get people up to speed a little bit. And then we do a couple-day staff orientation at camp, where we go through all our rules and regulations, how to work with kids, different scenarios, how do you deal with this kid if kids aren't getting along, all the different things, that we've sort of learned over the years that have come up, and we try to train our staff as much as possible. We're fortunate a lot of times we get a lot of returning staff, which obviously helps out, but the reality is, especially for the newer staff, a couple days into camp, there are going to be different things that come up, and between our senior staff and our veteran staff, we get them up to speed pretty quickly, and they learn on the fly a little bit like any other camp, I would think.
Awesome. Well, your camp sounds amazing, and I would love for the community to know how to find you. So where can they go to find your information
Sure.
about registration and
Of course.
everything else that comes along with camp?
Of course, yeah. So nextleveldaycamps.com is a general sort of landing page for all my camps, or you can go specifically to nextlevelgirlscamp.com for the girls camp, obviously, or nextlevelboyscamp.com for the boys camp. You can also obviously email me at info@nextleveldaycamps.com, or of course call 914-341-1488. I do speak to most of the families before they enroll at camp. Parents have typical questions like you've asked to learn a little bit more about it. I like to form the relationship. So, on occasion, people just do sign up, but a lot of times parents will call and talk to us. We do have an early bird promotion going on through the end of January where you can save up to, I think, 7% based on what we're doing. This summer, for our 10-year anniversary, we're adding some new intensives. We've always offered a few intensives, and what I mean by that, it's typically 6 or 8 hour classes rather than elective-based program. In the past, we've done some cooking and STEM, but this year we're going to add some acting and some DJing and a couple different things. So if people want to come in and spend half their day focused on some stuff, they can come to camp and do that as well, which I think will be a nice add-on to the camp, especially to some of the campers who have been there for years, if they want a little bit more of a intensive program, for lack of a better word, where they're specializing in something a little bit.
Oh, that's great.
Should be great. Yeah.
So you offer half day and full days?
I do.
Okay.
I offer half day and full days. And one of the things that I do I think is very unique to Next Level, which has resonated very well with the community. I offer what I call flex passes. So what parents do is they buy flex days, where you can buy, in essence, 8 days and come whenever you want during the summer. So you don't necessarily have to commit to a whole week. I have families whose kids come every Tuesday and Wednesday to camp, or every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because they go away for the weekends, or mom doesn't work on Monday or Fridays, or whatever the reason might be. Maybe they're only around for a partial week. It's a unique thing to Next Level that, again, I think especially the parents, my camp directors don't love it, I'll be honest with you, but parents love and having that flexibility. And listen, we know how busy everybody is, and I mean, my kids are a little bit older now, I'm a parent, so I created it, based on need and necessity. People want some flexibility if they're on a travel baseball team or a swim team or whatever, but yes, full day and half day. And half day kids, sometimes they come in the morning, sometimes they come in the afternoon.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You heard it here. Mamaroneck, Larchmont, New Rochelle, all our neighboring towns. Let's look into Next Level Day Camp.
Let's go, Next Level.
I know as parents, we're all doing this right now. We're all thinking about where we're going to put our kids, what's going to work, and looking at, like you said, at their sports calendar. So I think that flex is...
Parents love the flex.
It's great, yes, because I run into issues sometimes.
Sure.
My son does baseball, so
Exactly.
kind of gets tricky. So I congratulate you again on your 10-year anniversary, and I wish you all the very, very best.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Oh,
I hope
so
to maybe
happy.
bring some campers here this summer and do a little program with you guys.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. And can you move your microphone and show everybody your next level?
gear? Yeah.
Your gear, yes. I know you mentioned you wanted to
Sure,
show
of
it
course,
to everybody.
obviously.
So, all right, there you
I don't
go.
know which way I'm supposed to go, so
There
I'll
you-
just do a 360.
there you go.
And a 10-year anniversary hat and the sweatshirt.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
got it.
being at LMC.
Of course. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, and that's a wrap. I am your host, Gladys Dibble. Thank you so much for joining me and talking here with Ed Metzendorf. Have a great one.
The LMC casts a wide net over the Sound Shore to bring you local event info, profiles, and conversations. Recorded in the heart of the village in Mamaroneck Cinemas at the studio on the Avenue, LMC Media brings you the LMC Cast Community Profiles.